Well, hello everyone and welcome back. Welcome back. I believe in the last video we were using the method of getElementsByClassName. Today we're going to actually cover the getElementsByTagName. So instead of using the actual ID or using the actual class, what we're going to actually use is the actual name of the element itself. So let's go on ahead and get started so we can take a look and see exactly how that works. We'll be using the actual same HTML that we used in the last two videos, so you should have that if you were working with us. If not, just simply pause the video and you can go on ahead and just type that in and obviously just continue at your own pace. Okay, I'll go on ahead and close this up and let's get started. All right, see you there. And I'm still here. Closing out, look for my mouse. Voila. All right, so now what you can do is actually open up your favorite text editor. I'm using Visual Studio Code, but of course you can use any editor that you would like. It's always your preference. That's the wonderful thing about web development is there's a number of different tools that you can use to actually get the job done. So what we're going to do here, we are going to use, I believe, 3 files. So again, as mentioned, it's the same markup. So let's go on ahead and create two of the actual three files. Let's see here. So the first one is going to be, let's see, get elements by tag name.html. And since that's a nice long name, let's go on ahead and just copy that. All right, and we'll create the next file. It's going to be .js, and we'll create the third one, which will be .css. Good. Okay, then from there, what I'm going to do is let's actually right-click on this and open it with Live Server. Good, and then what we're going to do, I have markup from the previous tutorial. Now you don't have to obviously type all of that in, and actually if I get rid of it, the bulk of that is your bare bones by doing the exclamation mark and then pressing enter. All right, and then the actual part that I'm pasting in where you can then pause your video is actually going to be just this part within the actual body. Okay, and then once you actually have that, then you're pretty much good to go. Actually, there are some styles as well. I'm going to actually paste those in. So give yourself yet another chance to actually paste that in as well. Okay, and let's see, we're not going to need this, so about 23 lines, give or take. All right, and you can, so I'll leave it right there. You can, this is a good spot for you to pause your video and actually enter that in, and then the JavaScript portion will actually type out together. Okay, and then again, this is like the fourth part of this particular video where we're selecting different types of DOM elements. So what you're going to want to do is actually take a look at those previous videos. Okay, so let's see here. Let me refresh this. Okay, there's the actual HTML. And from there, let's make sure we actually have our styles connected. So let's use the actual link. Link, and let's see, what did we name it? We named it getElementsByTagName. All right, so that'll take care of that. And of course, we need to actually add the script file as well. So let's, and you'll notice to the left that the actual markup has changed. Let's add the source for the actual script that we're using, which is also the, definitely not all that. It is going to be, let's see here. Get back up here. What did we call it? Get elements by, for some reason I did lowercase this time, by tag name.js, and defer that, not dever, for any markup to actually load before the JavaScript. So let's just make sure we got everything looking okay. All right, so there's our HTML. So looking good there. All right, so now let's bring our JavaScript down, and I'll just close this portion here. Actually, I'll split our styles to the right. Actually, we don't even need to see the styles, because the only important thing that we're going to be using with the actual style is this class name of cool. And just for mental memory, just know that the class that we're going to add is going to add a background color of light blue. So let me just get rid of that. We don't need to see that, but we will keep our markup here. And again, I mentioned that we were doing what? We were going to select, we've already selected an element by using the ID, which was here. We've done that in 2 videos ago. Then from there, we did actually select elements that actually had the same class name. So here we were only selecting 1 element by the ID. Here we were selecting 2 elements, in which we then received a node list. So now what we're going to do is, instead of selecting the actual elements by their class name attribute, which is here and here, what we're going to do is actually select them by using the actual name of the element itself. So let's go on ahead and do that. Let's create a variable. So let's say let element, we'll say elements we found. Nice long variable name. We'll use the document object, and that document object is going to give us access to, if I can spell it right, document. All right, and that's going to give us access to some properties and methods. We're using which method? The get elements not by ID, but it's elements not by class name, but elements by tag name. So I'll just press the arrow key down to that. And the name of the actual class name, or I'm sorry, not the actual, the name of the actual tag name is the list item. So we have 4 list items here. So let's go on ahead and actually select that. So we'll just put in li. Okay. And now all of that, okay, is actually going to be placed within the variable elements we found. So if I go over and right click on the screen and hit the click on inspect, and then click on the console, I can actually type in my element name and see what I actually get from that. So elements we found, enter, and I have an HTML collection of 4. Why is that? 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and if you notice above, everything that I hover over is being highlighted, and all of that matches the actual HTML that we have on the right side. Okay, so that is exactly what we actually wanted to receive. Now, however, what we have here is 4 things. So what are we going to do? How can we add anything to that? We're going to add the class name of cool to a specific element. So there's 4 things in our actual node list that we actually retrieved, in which we can see those 4 here. So now let's see. So actually in the console itself, if I were to do the same thing, okay, and then I used it just as if it were an array, because the node list being returned is pretty much an array. All right, and if we do index 0, then it's going to give us the first list item. Okay, if I put in 1, look what's highlighted above, it's the second list item. And again, if you're confused from the 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whenever you have an actual array, just remember that the first value in the array is 0. Okay, so that's why we get 0 is 1, 1 is 2, 2 is 3, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if I were to do 3, then that would be the 4th item in the array in the node list, which is the list of sign field list item. Okay, so now using that, now we can actually pinpoint which particular element we would actually want to add the class name to. And we'll use, you know, obviously we could just say elements. Actually, yeah, just to make it easier here, we can do elements we actually found, and we can say, we know that we have 4 things in the actual list, so I can go element 1, and then from there we can say, actually, can we do that? Yeah, we can do that. Just target it directly. Element 1 dot class name, all right, equals cool. Okay, and so when I do that, now we can see that that is the second element within the actual node list, and we added the actual value of cool. And we all know that cool is our CSS class name, which gives a particular element a background of light blue. So that's one quick way to actually do that. We are going to, in the next video, actually show you how to apply the class name that we created to more than one element. Okay, so again, these are just different ways to actually see how to use the actual methods of the document object. So the next one, what we're going to do is iterate through the actual entire node list that's retrieved. So, and then we can then add the actual class name. One thing to actually point out here, though, is going back to the actual markup here, that we do not see a class name of cool in our HTML here. But if we actually go through here and look at the actual HTML structure here, we'll see that the class name for the second list item does have the actual class named cool. Okay, so that's very, very important for you to notice there. It's not originally here, but then it's placed here. We're manipulating that DOM and placing that new class name to the actual second list item. Okay, so in the next video, let's go on ahead and figure out a way how to actually iterate through the entire node list and actually add that class name to pretty much all of them now. Okay, so now let's manipulate all of them. Okay, other than that, subscribe to the actual channel and hit the notification so you can get the actual alerts. And that is it. Full stack out.